Hey everyone, it's Mr. Jesse here. We're gonna start something new and just see how it goes. This is mainly for my classroom where we kind of do our typical morning routine with our calendar and some other teaching and learning during our morning carpet time. So this is for them, but if you're not in my class, that's awesome. You can still watch this and participate. We just want to be able to help parents and kids out there while we're not having school. So I've got my kids with me to help, Elise and Liam, and they're going to be helping us throughout this time, kind of be examples and things of that nature. So we'll go ahead and get started. We typically start with our calendar time, so we're going to kind of zoom in on the screen here, and we've got March, and then first we'll talk about our days. So yesterday was Tuesday, which means today is Wednesday. And if today is Wednesday, that means tomorrow is Thursday. So today is Wednesday, and yesterday was the 24th, which means today is the what? 25th. So I'm going to move this over to the 25th. And there's no other holidays here in March, so we're going to go ahead and say our day. Today is Wednesday, March 25th. So if you're at home watching this, say it with me. Today is Wednesday, March 25th. All right, we'll go to our next screen. And this is where we say our months of the year. So we always start in January. That's our first month, and we'll read through them. So read them with me if you're at home. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. All right, Liam, can you tell me what month this is? April, very good. And what I always tell my students is if you don't know a month, start with one you do know and go from there, because it's a lot easier for us to remember all the months in order, but it's more difficult if we don't know how to read to know which month that is. So if you don't know April, start with what you do know. If you know the first month is always January, then start there in January, February, March, April. So that's what I always tell our students. Start with what you don't know to get what you do know. Or start with what you do know to get what you don't know. And now we'll say our days of the week together. So if you're at home, say them with us. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Elise, what day is this? Thursday. Very good. We'll go to our next screen here, which is the weather. And the last couple days have been really rainy, but today it's sunny out. So we're going to move the sunny weather thing over here. And I don't know what the temperature is, but it's fairly warm, and I don't have a marker. So I'm going to guess it's maybe in the 50s, low 60s, something like that. But if I did have my marker, of course I don't have my smart board, but I would start my line wherever it is here and color that in down to the bottom on our thermometer. All right, let's say our ABCs together.
Daddy.
And if you're at home, one second, Liam, if you're at home and you know your ABCs really, really well, and you say, hey, look, that's too old for me, never underestimate just knowing these things and knowing their sounds. So why don't you say them with us? And we'll sing them through, but we don't ever finish the last little tag ending. We just sing the letters through. So you guys ready?
Yeah.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Good job.
Now I know.
All right, they're going to continue.
ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me?
Good job, guys. All right, now we're going to count to 50. So remember, when we're counting through, you've got 1 through 10, which most of my students know really well, but it's always 11 through 20 that gets a little more difficult. So what I always like to do is tell you 1 through 10, when you get to 11 through 20, you've just got to remember 11 and 12, and the rest are teens. So 13, 14, 15, 16. And then when you get to the 20s and on, you're just repeating these up here. So 21, 22, 23. So let's count through all these together up to 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Now I'll put my fingers up here. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Good job. Now we're going to count by twos. And most of our class has been doing really well with this, so we're going to try it up to 40. And remember, just when you get to these numbers, you're looking at 20 and then your normal single digit number, 4, 26. So let's start at 2 and we'll go down to 40. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. Good job.
Daddy, I like that sign.
Good.
I even like this one.
All right, we're going to count by fives now. You guys ready?
Yeah.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. And parents and kids, if you're ever looking at these and watching it and you need to go back and do it, just rewind it. We'll have these on YouTube and you can go back and do it again once you've heard it through once. Okay, now let's count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Good job. Now we're going to look at patterns for just a second, and I'm going to pull these over. That way we can do that. Okay, so what we want to know is what the next shape is going to be here. So we have a square, square, circle, square, square, circle. That's right. This is called an AAB pattern. So when you have two of the same and then one different, when you have two the same again, you're going to go to your other one. So we would move another circle in here. And now we'll do a little different. So this time we have square, circle, square, circle, square, circle would come next. This is an A-B pattern. So you got A-B, A-B, A-B. So look for the pattern when you're looking at these that has the things repeating. So you got a square, circle, square, circle, square, circle. And now we'll look at place value for just a minute. we've got our hundreds column, our tens column, and our ones column. And what we're doing here is trying to make a typical number, like maybe we could have 1 through 9 here, or say we were looking at number 36. So let's do that. Let's take number 36 and we'll put it here. 36. So the question is, how many tens do we pull over here, and how many ones do we pull? So let's look at our different columns. This, in the number 36, this is our ones column, and then this is our tens column. So ones and tens, and what we're going to do is move these over to the tens column. So if I have 36, that means I have 3 groups of 10. So I'm going to move these over. 1, 2, 3. So I'll move this over for a little more clarity. So we've got 3 groups of 10, and then our ones, Elise, how many ones do we have?
6.
6. So how many of these red squares do I need to move in here?
1.
If I have 6 ones, how many single squares do I move?
1.
6. 6, very good. I move 6 over. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Daddy, I gotta go put this in the dirty clothes.
Okay. All right, so that's what we're looking at, place value. We'll keep doing this, and we'll have different ways of doing it here in our future videos, but this is just kind of an introduction to it today. So now we're going to move on to something different, some other things we do with our class. We'll look at our shapes for just a minute. So I'll point to the shape, and then you at home try to name it, and I'll give you a couple seconds, and then I'll ask one of my kids to answer. So first, this one, I'll give you a couple seconds to answer. Liam, what is it?
Circle.
Good. And then this one
Is a square.
is a square.
Triangle.
Wait until I tell you guys. I want the kids at home to be able to answer. And this is a triangle. And then this one, take a couple seconds to think about it. All right, Liam, what is this one?
Rectangle.
Rectangle. All right, at home, take a look at this one.
A rhombus.
It's a rhombus, or a diamond is another word. And then this one, Liam,
Pentagon.
not a pentagon. How many sides does a pentagon have? How many sides does a pentagon have? 5 sides. How many sides does this have? Let's count it together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Has 6 sides. So what's 6 sides? What's a shape with 6 sides called?
That means it's a pentagon.
It's a hexagon.
Hexagon.
Say that word with me at home. Hexagon. All right. And now let's move to these. Now this object has 8 sides. So Elise, what is an 8-sided shape called?
Pentagon.
Not a pentagon, that's
Octagon.
octagon. And what animal in nature has 8 tentacles?
Octopus.
Octopus. That's how you remember an octagon.
Octopus.
Octopus, octagon.
Octopus.
Okay,
Octagon.
and then this one, Elise or Liam, do you know what this shape is called?
That was trapezoid.
A trapezoid. And what we always do at school is we talk about it's the rectangle that's trapped. So we call it a trapezoid, the rectangle that's trapped.
A star.
And then that's a star. Liam, what is this shape?
Oval.
Oval. It's an elongated circle. It's an oval. And then Elise, what's our last shape?
Heart.
A heart. All right, we won't get into 3D shapes today. We'll move on to something different. We're going to do some simple addition today. And what I want to do with this, you can go ahead and back up with
Daddy,
the camera now.
Daddy, make at least 2 of them because I don't know.
Well, I think you might. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use the whiteboard for a few minutes. Now, if you're at home, what I want you to do is go grab maybe a pencil or a marker, a crayon, anything, and a scrap sheet of paper that you can write on, and we'll try to do these problems together and see what you guys can do. And I know that
I don't get pencil.
most of the students in my class are very capable of these problems. So what we're going to do is go over, and you might say, hey, these problems on the board are way too easy for me. I know much more than that. And that's okay, because we'll add some more difficult ones in here. That way, if you're at a single-digit addition level, you can do these, or if you're doing double-digit addition, you can use these skills as well. So today what I want to focus on is one of the methods of getting your answer. Because if I just look at this and say, well, I know 2 plus 2 is 4. That's good, but it's not going to help when you get into bigger numbers. So we need to know some ways that we can add these smaller numbers. So if we do get into bigger problems, we can do that. So what I want to do is let's take 2 plus 3. So I'm going to write that on here. 2 plus 3
equals 5.
Equals. And remember, let's talk about, before we get into it, let's look at our symbols here. We've got the plus sign or the addition sign, and we have the equal sign. So know what those are. Basically, this is just saying whatever answer we put over here is going to be the same thing as what this means here. So if I put 2 plus 3, one of the ways that I teach my students how to do this is to draw dots. Or you can draw anything, but I use dots because they're very, very quick. Some people like to draw their shapes. Some people like to draw, people, whatever you want to, but this is just a very quick way of doing it. So what I would do is if I had 2 plus 3, I draw 2 dots, quick dots. Sometimes I see my students do this. And that's just wasting a lot of time that if you were in a hurry to do your math, you wouldn't have. So I try to get my students to draw quick dots. So 1, 2, and then how many dots do we need here? 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I can add my dots together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you say the last one? 5. So my answer is 5. 2 plus 3 equals 5. Now let's do another problem. We'll do one more with these lower numbers here. Let's do 2 plus 5. 2 plus 5. So I'm going to write my 2. And at home, again, if you have a pencil, make sure you're writing these, because sometimes our handwriting is not going to get better unless we practice. So practice, 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 practice. And look at the number it has up here, and then that's what you're copying. So 2, and I'm sorry my writing's off, I'm writing kind of awkward, plus 5 equals
7.
Let's wait. Let's do our method here. So Liam, come here for a second. I want you to draw the dots this time. So you draw, wait, Elise, I'll give you a chance. Draw the dots above these, okay? So how many dots are you drawing for this? 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, let's count your dots all together. And a really good trick to help here, guys, that I want to teach you is one thing we typically like to do is we want to count all of our dots all the way across. But if we know this number's 5, we don't have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots. We know there's 5. See, we see the 5 right there. So we can count 5 and then count up from there. So 5, what's next?
2, 7,
5, 6, 7. And if that's difficult for you, then keep counting them all. So you can start at 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But what you want to grow into is starting with your 5 and counting up. 5, 6, 7. Okay, now if you're doing more than this, say you're doing double-digit addition. Let's do one of those really quickly.
Double-digit addition.
So double-digit just means you have more than one. So let's do 33 plus 15. Okay, so in this problem, you have more than one digit here. So we need to divide this into our ones and tens section. So I'm just going to draw a line down the middle here, and I've got my ones, and I've got my tens. Now, which one do you think we need to add first, our ones or our tens?
Our ones.
Our ones. We want to add our ones first. So Elise, can you add our ones by drawing dots over here? So you want to draw 3 dots for your 3. 1, 2, 3, and then 5 dots for your 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you've got all your dots. Now count them out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Good. So put your 8 in the ones column. Good job. Now you've got your tens column. So let's draw your dots for your tens column. Okay, you've got 3, and now you need 1 more. Good. So count all your dots.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So write your 4. That gives you your answer, which is
48.
48. So if we erase our line, we've got 48. So again, use your dots to do the double-digit math the same as you would if you had single-digit math.
Daddy, can we just like split that out like?
No, we can't. Not with the markers. All right. Great job, guys. That's all we're going to do for today with the math and the calendar and everything. But each day, I do want to do something kind of special or something different. Maybe an experiment or something with a life skill. So what we're going to do right now is, since we've got the coronavirus going on around everywhere, I want to talk about washing our hands, because in my experience in being in the school, sometimes we use the restroom and then we go to wash our hands, and it's very quick. We just throw water on our hands and go. But we need to see what's happening with germs on our hands and how we can actually get rid of those. So if you follow me over here, we've got a little experiment we're going to do, and I want to show you guys how you can wash your hands properly. Now, before we do this, if you want to try this at home, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to show you what we did, but make sure a parent knows you're doing it, okay? Because I don't want any parents calling me saying, hey, my kid got glitter and lotion everywhere without me knowing. So make sure you have an adult doing this with you, so they can see what you're doing and they can monitor that. So all I have here are 2 simple ingredients. I've got hand lotion and glitter. And what you don't want to do is spill your glitter everywhere. That's a huge mess, so be very, very careful. But we put some hand lotion in a little cup here, and then put the glitter in and use a little butter knife to mix that up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this lotion on my hands, and that green glitter in here represents the germs. So she can get a close-up of that. The green glitter represents germs. So I'm going to take some of this and get it on my hands. All right, so see, I've got a nice little gunk of it here. And now I'm going to rub it all over my hands. Okay, so let's take a look at them. Gross! It's all green specks. All right, guys. Listen, this is all the germs on your hands. So now, follow me over to the kitchen sink, and I'm going to wash them off. And what I'm going to show you is how I've seen some people wash their hands in the classroom, and then we'll see how to do it the right way. So sometimes I see kids maybe throw some soap on their hands, and they go like this. And then they go. Now look at my hands. There's germs still all over them. That's gross. So what we can do is sometimes people will say, okay, well, I'll do a little more than that. And they do this, and they do that, and they do this. But still, look at the germs. See these on my fingertips? See, there's still lotion on my fingertips? Oh, no. What we want to do is really clean them well. You can do that for about 30 seconds. But you're going to want to wash this way, interlock your fingers like this, get all between them. get on top of your hand, all the way up here to your wrist, and rub all the way down your fingers under the water. Now, you also need to get your tops of your fingers here and your fingernails, so rub those into your palm. And then get around your thumbs too, like this. Make sure you're washing all of that. And now, I look at my hands and I got some glitter over here. Oh no! So I'm gonna rub this over here, make sure it's all gone. And now my hands are washed properly. So that's the way we want to wash our hands. And like I said, if you're at home and you want to do that, make sure you ask your mom or dad before you do. So any of these experiments that we do or fun things, make sure you have an adult, okay? And we'll try to help you maybe in the future if we do more of these to tell you what supplies you might need ahead of time, because we know it's kind of hard to get out right now to get supplies. We're really not supposed to unless it's a necessity. So maybe if your mom or dad are already going to the store for supplies they need, if there's something that we can tell you ahead of time that you might be able to pick up, that would be good. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this time, and like I said, we may try to continue doing this each day to help you guys at home, to help the parents at home, and give you something fun to look at each day. So we'll talk to you later. Bye!
Bye.